Hi Chictopians! Today's episode is about my hair. I know it seems like for the past few episodes my hair color has changed every other episode, and it's been kind of fun. It's mostly because I dye it a certain color and it comes off after every wash, so by the next time I film, which is 7 days later, it's a different shade. But because of my hair color, I've actually had quite a few interesting experiences, encounters in the last few months, so I just thought I wanted to share that with you. First of all, my general observation is that I have this one conclusion: your parents totally affects how you're treated in life. And with my hair, I definitely stand out a lot more in the crowd, and although that wasn't something I intentionally thought about when I did dye my hair. And because of this, there's just general things like I feel like I get better customer service at airports for some reason. Anyway, so story number one is I recently went to one of my best friend's weddings, and I saw her mother, who I knew since I was a teenager, and the first thing she said to me was, "Wow, Helen, that is a really great wig on you." And I was like, actually, that's my real hair. The second comment I get is once they find out that it's not a wig, one of my good friends, Christina in New York, was like, and she's a close friend of mine, so she's like, "Wow, it's not a wig, you dyed your hair this color. Can I touch it?" And I do get that pretty often. Yes, you can touch it if you actually meet me on the street. Actually, recently I met a fan at Target in Daly City, and thank you for coming up to me, and if you had asked to touch my hair, I would have let you at no charge. The third encounter I get is most recently I was in New Jersey at Rutgers campus. I was getting coffee, and then I walked over to the university cafeteria to use the bathroom, and on my way back, this really tall, handsome young man in his late teens, maybe early 20s, came up to me and he was like, "Wow, I really like your hair color." And I was like, "Thank you." My hair color was more blue back then. It was sort of a Smurf blue. He's like, "Why did you dye it that color?" And I was like, "Well, blue generally looks good on me, and I just wanted to see it in my hair." And this whole time I was thinking, wow, I could pass as a college student. I'm so flattered. You know, young, tall, you know, fit guys are usually not the type that hit on me. So anyway, so he talked to me for like maybe a good 3 to 4 minutes, and then at the end of it he leaned over, he was like, "So listen, I have Bible study right there in about half an hour. Would you like to join me?" I was actually heading out to a client meeting, which is true, so I told him I actually have a meeting in half an hour, but if that got canceled I would consider it. And then I later came home and I told this to my husband, who said that I actually looked like a sinner walking around. That's probably why he approached me. My experience in the workplace was that I was a speaker at a conference, and I was sort of doing a round table, and another speaker actually who sat across from me was, you know, I think he was making conversation. He was like, "So I like your hair color." I'm like, "Thank you." He's like, "So was it always that color?" And I didn't know how to answer that, because I don't know if any person would be born with a hair color that is blue. My fifth story is that I was sitting around Embarcadero in San Francisco, and it's a popular tourist place, and I was by myself. I was waiting for my husband, and I was on the phone, and there were two young men in their mid-20s hanging around me, and then all of a sudden they turned around and they were like, "Excuse me, miss, would you like some marijuana?" And I kind of just laughed. I'm like, "Oh no, thank you." And then they were like, "Okay, we just didn't want to be rude." And I was like, "No, that's okay." And as they were riding away, they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." And then they said, "Nice hair." So this leads me to conclude that actually I told Chris about this story at the office, and he said that it's because I look like I'm someone who leads an alternative lifestyle. So those are my interesting stories I wanted to share with you, that when you have colored hair, there are certain expectations that people have of you, and they're kind of fun to entertain. And I want to hear about your stories about how your look and how people make a judgment on your look based on your hair color or anything else that's special about you, so we can share. And leave a comment in the video so I can share in the following video my favorite comment and the conversation that sparked from this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like it if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.